Welcome, investors, to Joe's Investment Express, a runaway train of investment YouTube channels, and the market is looking so much healthier these days. We have a fresh new leg up, and I think we're going to be in a bull market now for, I don't know, 3 to 6 months until the interest rate hikes start affecting the economy. Now, of course, we are still really news-driven regarding Ukraine and Russia and the virus, so any big developments in those areas could change things dramatically. But in the meantime, I am continuing to accumulate stocks. And let's look at 7 charts today. Most excitingly, Tesla, which has been in the world of pain for, like 4 months now, but all of a sudden is getting very close to a buy point. In my opinion, let's look at Tesla, like I said. Let's look at the SPY, the index fund of the S&P 500, which I think is the #1 best mutual fund to own. Let's look at my little swing trade here in Dillard's, and let's look at 2 tech stocks that broke out last week, Juniper and RMBS, or is it Rhombus? I don't know. You guys tell me. John Deere took off without me, doggone it. And then let's look at an oil refiner, VTNR, Vertex Energy, whose chart is setting up really nicely. Before we do, let me just remind you, this is not investment advice. This is just for education, just for entertainment. And the one thing you could do for me is to like this video. That will help get it out to more people. So, Tesla, here's our big 9-month base. Here's the big breakout on third quarter earnings, and we've had a bucky and bronco ride to the downside ever since Elon started selling his shares and ever since the big tech companies started selling off. And then, as I'm sure you saw, a couple weeks ago, we saw a huge bottoming bullish candle bouncing off of 700, and it came up, and it's just been clearing supply. There's a bunch of supply over here. But as you can see, the last 2 days, it has broken through this downtrending channel, and it has broken above the 200-day exponential moving average, and now it has broken above the 50-day exponential moving average. I'm not sure why I have the 150 on there. Let me get rid of that. Hold on a sec. Yeah, I usually don't look at that one. I don't know why it was on there. Too much clutter. So, tempting to buy it Monday, but we're right here at the top of this big cup, which is natural resistance. We're at 900-ish, which is a round number resistance. We've seen a ton of congestion right here in early February. So it seems probable that Monday or Tuesday, especially Tuesday with the Gigafactory opening, we might see a sell the news event. And what I'd like to see is for it to make a handle now, or for it to pull back and bounce off this downtrend line. And then when it makes a new run up, I would feel comfortable buying it there. So either wait for the pullback and have it bounce off of 830 or so and buy it off the bounce back, or wait for a handle, a build out of the right side, and then a breakout to the upside. This is such a vertical move, I just don't see this sustaining at the moment. So I'm going to hold off just now. I could be getting in pretty soon. Those are my thoughts on Tesla, but it is sure is looking a lot better. And as you know, the long-term picture for Tesla is pretty great. It seems to have the best prospects of any of the big caps, the big caps, in my opinion. Now let's look at the SPY, SPY. This is an ETF, and this thing has returned 10% or so per year for many, many years, and it mimics the S&P 500, which is the 500 largest public companies in America. It rebalances every quarter. The laggards get kicked out, the leaders get brought in, and we had a head and shoulders top that developed, and it briefly broke beneath that neckline, which was concerning. But now, kind of like Tesla, it's above the 200-day exponential moving average. It's above the 50-day exponential moving average. Now, if you are just slowly accumulating a position in the SPY, which I think is a pretty good idea, then this would be a good buy point here. Yes, obviously we've got a bunch of supply here, but I think the overall market direction is up now for the next 6 months. And this is essentially the market. So I think it's going to continue going up and build out the right side of a base. And this ETF would be a good one to just buy a few shares or one share once a month and slowly build a position. Let me show you the 20-year chart here. And you can see why here this would be a good ETF to own for the long term. Right? Here's the financial banking meltdown, the COVID crash, some little blips here, but overall, it's a pretty strong chart. All right, so I am pleased to report that my little swing trade here in DDS, Dillard's, is working just like it was supposed to. And my assertion was that when a stock has a prior uptrend and then it goes really, really tight for a long time like this, and when the market breaks out to the upside, when the market turns bullish again, then this tight area is going to break out to the upside too. And sure enough, it did. It made a 6% move on Friday. So I have two sell limits set, one at like $2.99 and one at like $3.17 or something. I'm going to hope that those hit. I do expect it to roll over and either make a handle or retest this breakout point once it gets here to 320. There's just a lot of supply over here, and these gaps often cause resistance. So I'm just swing trading this, and I'm going to get out in this area. And if it's up again tomorrow, Monday, I might move my stop to my buy point and free roll this thing. Sorry, couldn't think of the right word. But yeah, this is a nice swing trade that's worked really well. And look at this big volume. That's great to see. And obviously the market has liked the earnings report. This is the earnings report. This cup is really too deep, 45%. That's one reason I don't want to play it for a longer move. So I'll get out soon and then wait and see if it can build out the right side of a base properly. Now let me show you these two tech stocks, Juniper Networks and RMBS. I've always said RMBS, but maybe it's RMBS. Tell me in the comments if you know. Juniper Networks, I bought this on Thursday on this little breakout. It's making kind of this crazy cup here. It's performed well after earnings, and I just drew a downtrend line here, and I bought a little bit off of the breakout of this trend line. This is a really aggressive early buy point because you got all the supply here, although in this case it's worked, hasn't it? So I bought a little bit here. I could have added more here, but I didn't. And now let's see what happens. Hopefully it'll build out a handle here or spend a little more time working on the right side and then break out to the upside. In theory, that should happen because it's coming off of a prior uptrend, now a rest phase, and then it should make a measured move up. Let's look at the fundamentals here. One second. Got this. Juniper Networks. This is the first time I've owned this stock in like 20 years. This was one of the first stocks I ever owned. I owned it sometime here in the late 90s. It went up a ton. I think I only had like 4 shares or something. I didn't make much money, but boy, it was exciting. And obviously it crashed. Now here's a warning to all of you diamond handers out there. If you diamond handed this thing when it rolled over in 2000, you've been waiting 20 years and it's still nowhere near its all-time high. So yes, definitely hold stocks for longer multi-year moves if it's growing rapidly and it has a stellar CEO. But don't diamond hand something forever. Just because something was a great stock doesn't mean it's always going to be a great stock. And Juniper is a prime example of that. However, this is a good stock right now. If you look at the weekly, it's looking actually pretty good. Outperforming 93% of stocks in the market. And if you look at, one second, it has a nice little dividend these days of 2.4. If you look at the annual EPS, it's growing steadily, and PE ratio is only 20 now. And the revenue growth is single digits, and as is the EPS growth, which is a pretty shabby, although granted it is a larger stock, but the chart is saying buy. And so my assertion sometimes is that the big fish know something we don't about the quality, the future prospects of the company. And when the chart starts saying buy, I buy even if the sales and revenue are a little bit lackluster, as is the case with Juniper. Now, RMBS, again, it made kind of an unconventional base here, bounced off the 200-day exponential moving average. That's not a coincidence. That's the big funds waiting for it to get there and then buying. And now we've seen a really strong breakout on huge volume, but I don't like this compression. This is time compression. It really needed some more time to build out on the right side of the base. So I'm not buying it extended 6% here. It's probably going to pull back now and spend some more time building out the right side. So for me, I'm going to wait for a pullback and then maybe some work around this 30 area. And then if it continues up, then I'd love to take a shot at it. Or if it sets up at a new base right up here at 32 or so. And if we look at the fundamentals of RMBS, one second. The numbers are stronger than Juniper. Relative strength of 95. PE ratio is 50. This is a semiconductor company, by the way. And it's having a big breakout EPS here, going from 17 to 62 cents to $1.50. Those are huge moves, and that's what's moving the price of the stock. And look at these strong numbers. 50% revenue growth, triple-digit earnings growth, multiple quarters. I really like to see that. No dividend. So, let's keep a close eye on this one. Next, John Deere. I showed you this just a day or two ago, and I really like the volatility contraction here, marked by these orangish bars. Those are kind of ugly. Why did I pick that mustard orange? And then we had this wicked pullback due to the bear market. This is why it's really risky to buy breakouts during a bear market, because they often fail violently like this. So in a bear market, well, the best thing to do is to be cash or short. Second best is to try to buy pullbacks. But now I'm saying we're in the bull market. We had follow through in the New York Stock Exchange, and I think in the NASDAQ now too. So we've had a strong breakout. I missed it. It's extended 3%. I just feel like it's awfully messy here. I'd like to see it pull back a little bit and do some more consolidation and then maybe get into some sort of trend channel. But I sure like the stock as far as a reopening of the world play. And it's been a strong performer for many, many years. Let's take a look at the monthly. I guess, wow. Oh, that's RMBS. No wonder why. I was like, I guess I'm wrong. No, hold on a second. I should have paused the video. Yeah, here you go. So the last, this is not as pretty as, say, Microsoft or something, but it's been a slow and steady climber for the last 20 years, especially the last 2 years. Now, look, this is a great measured move potential. Strong uptrend, pause, strong uptrend, right? And it just broke through whole number support at 400. I might buy this here in the next few days or few weeks. Lastly, don't give up on the energy stocks. Yeah, energy's pulled back from 130 or 140 down to about 100, but I think prices are going to be elevated for quite a while. And VTNR, an oil refiner, is really setting up nicely. It's made this nice round base. Yeah, the depth was pretty deep, but it's had a long time to work through the supply. And it's cleared this price action here. Any of these guys now that wanted to sell, they probably either sold in a panic down here or they're selling now at break even. So let's see it build out a little bit more of a handle, and then if we can see it make a move above 9.5, I'd be really comfortable buying there. Yes, we got a little supply here, but one, this is very far to the left, and two, it was just a handful of days. So I think most of the supply is gone, and I would not be surprised if this continues. And this is kind of a power play. You went from $1 to $14. There's a chance it might make a second big move to the upside. I'll probably give it a try around 9.5. I'll let you know if I do. Well, friends, that's it for my stock report. Prospective strong stocks for this week. I'm excited to see. I'm feeling pretty bullish, and I hope that there aren't any scary news events that torpedo us. But I'm looking to get more and more aggressive here this week if the prices cooperate, and probably get on margin here too. Well, take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.